Alright, so this is kind of an intro video on what I want to do as far as with this Miata here. So I'm going to show a little around the car, what I plan on doing, and hopefully how it'll turn out. So when I got the car, it was actually lifted with these mud tires on it. The car didn't drive very good, so I actually got a hold of the previous owner and just was like, oh, I got it running, and he's like, I'll sell you some wheels. So I bought this set of wheels, was able to take the lift off, which I'll show you quickly, and got it back down to where it runs and drives pretty good and handles more like a Miata should. Overall, it's in decent shape. It's got some rust, which you can kind of see in there. Kind of hard to see on that, but overall, I mean, everything's there. All the main stuff that you're going to need as far as mechanically. So the plan, I've seen people do it for years, and I've always thought it was super cool, and I want to do one myself, is people make these into what they call an Exocart. So if you've looked online, I'm sure you've seen people build these, and they turn them into Exocarts. And basically, what they do is they take all the body panels off. So doors, fenders, bumpers, hood, roof, trunk. You cut this rear quarter out all the way down, even down past the door well, and you cut it completely out. And you actually cut, once you open the trunk, you cut about halfway in the trunk back off the car, completely, frame and everything. So basically what you're left with is the inside of the Miata, and you have, once this is gone, you have the rail that's underneath here, all the wires, strut towers that you cut basically here, forward some of this off. You'll cut the core support out, and basically where the frame rails are in the front, you cut them, and then you'll weld the bar over top of them. So when you do that, you are left with something the fraction the size of the actual Miata. From there, people essentially weld a roll cage on. You do a full like 6-point cage, and then after that you actually weld bash bars in the front, bash bars in the rear. You weld obviously a cage from the passenger floor up kind of somewhere in this area. You weld it straight back. You know, all the main parts of the roll cage that you need. And what you're left with is a small little frame, a roll cage, and something that weighs somewhere in the vicinity of 1,800 pounds. And in this case with the turbo, makes, you know, a little north of 150 horse, maybe 175 horsepower. And it's an absolute blast. It's a little rocket ship. It's like a little go-kart for the street. They actually are street legal. So you just have to have headlights, taillights, turn signals, bumpers of a sort, all that kind of stuff. So I do have these little LED headlights that actually work really well. And then all this stuff, I'll be able to move this somewhere onto the frame. The little mirrors, I'll be able to bolt on the frame rail underneath that. And then you basically have to mock up some sort of taillights. Some people use these and they work, but I actually have a pair of C7 Corvette taillights laying around off my other car that it's really not going to use, and no one can buy them. No one wants to buy them. So I could either take them back to the dealership and get a core charge on my other ones, which is like $100, or I thought, why not put them on this when it's all cut up in its little cart? Because I'm essentially, what am I going to take them back, get $100, and then spend another 50 on lights for this that are going to be some cheap little eBay lights? You know, I just don't see the point. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on this. It needs to be cleaned out, but you basically cut right here. So really everything from there back is cut off. So you're left with essentially the bare bones. But it's going to be a really cool project. I've wanted to do it for a long time. It's relatively cheap. I mean, you can get as crazy as you want with it, but it is relatively cheap. And then there's obviously parts that come off, you know, like for instance, the trunk. I mean, it's got, you know, some holes in it from obviously the wing and whatnot. But the trunk I can sell. You know, these over fenders are pretty tore up and beat up. They're missing pieces. So, I mean, I might sell them for, you know, 20 bucks if someone will give me them. But the taillights, you know, again, not in the best shape, but everything works. Could sell those. Doors, you know, they have the holes in them from like mirrors. But other than that, the glass works, everything works. Some interior panels. I'm planning on leaving the dashboard speedometer, maybe the center console, haven't figured that out yet. And then the seats will probably stay just because I need seats until maybe I buy some cheap racing seats. But I want the whole dashboard still, so it's somewhat of a car. I will leave the windshield, as a lot of people don't, but then you have to wear, depending on your state, a helmet and all that other stuff. And basically you just have to leave the VIN number in the correct spot anyway, so that it's street legal. So there's a lot of things you cut off, but a lot of things you do have to leave. You know, all your basic car things, headlights, taillights, turn signals, brake lights, all that good stuff. But it should be a fun project here once it starts to get a little warmer out. I'd like to start on it. I'm probably gonna do it in small sections, and I will try to video it. But I'm not very good at remembering to video it while I'm doing it. So I'll probably be doing it in small sections. That way I can hopefully hopefully the car can remain drivable to some extent. If for some reason I need it, you know, or just want to take it out. So I might do, you know, the whole front end and then do the bash bar. And then after that, move on to, you know, taking the doors out and doing, you know, door bars, and then moving to the rear quarter, or vice versa. Not 100% sure, but you know, I'm try to leave it somewhat drivable, with not more than a couple days down at a time. So that's the plan for this little thing. That way, you know, I will have a fun toy that I can go out and rip around on, and, you know, worst case scenario, I blow the engine up in the thing, and, you know, the engine's $500, which is still cheaper than a set of back tires on the Corvette. So I just figured it'd be a fun little toy to beat around and still be somewhat budget friendly. So that's the plan for this thing. It should be a fun journey, a learning experience. And that's it.